I'm MadameMacabre. Welcome back to all my returning subscribers, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So, alongside obviously doing YouTube, I do have another career pathway. I actually work as the game host at an escape room, which is honestly a super fun and mostly rewarding job. Now, as you can see by the title, I figured I would make a video where I sort of explain some important info to people who are fairly new to escape rooms. Now, obviously, if you've been to one before and whatever, feel free to hang around because I know a lot of different escape rooms actually do things differently, and I'm going to talk about how mine does it, so maybe you'll be better prepared if you try a different room in the future. Anyway, without further ado, I thought I would cover things you should know before doing an escape room. So the number one thing that always comes up to people who are brand new to escape rooms and aren't sure what to expect is the cost. A lot of people are actually surprised that it costs a fair amount of money to do an interactive activity that takes staff and a designated space that can only be occupied by a certain amount of people for so long. Who would have known that takes money? Okay, the average escape room is gonna cost anywhere between $25 to like $40 per person. The most expensive ones being usually when there is like a very valuable IP that the rights have been bought by the escape room, so they have to raise the prices to make up for the money of the IP. My escape room's pricing being about $30 per person. Now, people who haven't done escape rooms, this might be a little bit jarring. We've had people go, wait a second, well, a movie only costs $15 for a ticket. Why does it cost double that for an escape room? Well, here's the thing. At a movie, all you have to do is have a big room full of seats, hit the play button, and then just let it go. With a ton of people, you're getting a ton of income from that. Now, with an escape room, you can only have a group of people that signed up. That in our escape room, it maxes out at 12 people. But generally, we have anywhere between 2 to like 6. That is all. That's the only income you're going to be getting, and that room is now out of commission for anybody else for the next hour. We can no longer make any more money off of that. Now, on top of that, we have these huge sets that have been furnished with interactive things in them, as well as you have a tour guide, your game host, who is solely dedicated to helping you, informing your experience on that journey for that hour. So that cost has to be covered as well. And then there's also the fact that the rooms need to be sanitized, disinfected, and reset after your group is done. So by the time you're done adding up all the labor costs and the different things that go into that, it starts to make sense why it costs so much more to do something like this rather than a movie. So just letting you know to be prepared that it's gonna cost some money. Some rooms, I would say most rooms, do have variable pricing, like ours for instance. It goes on group size, the price changes. And that will segue us into group number 2, things that you should know, group size. So the first on that, touching with cost. Generally for larger groups, we do give you a cost discount. At my escape room, the cost goes from about $30 a person down to $25 a person if you have a group of 4 or more. Now, the reason we can lower the cost is because we have more people all paying that $25. So by the time we're done adding 4 or more of $25 and paying all the expenses to run, we're still able to make a profit enough so that we can lower the cost for you. Whereas if we're only running the room for 2 people, we have to have it $30 per person. That way we're at least getting $60 for that room being out of commission for anybody else for that whole hour. Along with the cost changing with group sizes, one thing that is good to know is that most escape rooms are actually designed expecting you to have a group of people. The puzzles are significantly harder to get done with just 2 or 3 people. Our recommendation is for each of our rooms, 4 to 6 people is the ideal number with the highest chances to get out. This being that a lot of the rooms have multiple trees you can go down at the same time. Like, let's say you start a room, there are 3 different puzzles you could begin working on that will all take you different places and then converge together at the end. If you only have 2 people, and should you both want to work on the same puzzle at the same time, there are 2 more puzzles in that room that are gonna need an equal amount of time put into them. And remember, you still, even with 2 people, you only get the 1 hour to do that room. So you see how it gets harder to escape with less people. If you've got a group of 6, let's say, 2, 2, 2, 2 people working on all 3 of those puzzles, divide, conquer, boom, you're gonna have no troubles. Well, I mean, okay, big groups, let me take that back. Big groups have their own kind of troubles. I would say the ideal group is 4 to 6 people. If you are too little, you're not gonna have enough people to get all the puzzles done. If you have too many, you're gonna derail yourselves. I have seen this so many times. When you got a big group, everyone starts talking over each other, they all have different ideas, no one's listening to each other, it becomes a dull roar, a cacophony of people shouting over each other, and you run out of time sheerly from having bickered it away. Smaller groups can do this too, generally like families will yell at each other, but do not be your own worst enemy. If you have a massive group of people, yes, we allow at our escape room 12 people, I would suggest get 2 separate rooms and do 6 people in each room. Everyone, yes, it's gonna cost twice as much, but everyone will have a better experience. Just my 2 cents from what I've seen. All right. The third thing that you really should know before doing an escape room is when going into these and looking at these puzzles, do not overcomplicate things or shoot yourself down. These are, on top of like time wasting, this is the second biggest thing that will kill a group from reaching the end point. I don't know what it is with adults, but interestingly enough, there was actually a study done. Groups of children have a higher chance of getting out than groups of adults. Why is this? Well, the interesting thing is kids will try everything. They don't care if it sounds dumb. Like, adults may have the right idea, but they'll second guess themselves and they'll be like, no, that's dumb. And then they'll stop themselves for fear of seeming stupid in front of their other adult friends, and then no one will say what they're thinking and nothing will get done. Children don't care about sounding stupid. They will spitball any idea, and by spitballing so many different ideas, something's gonna stick. So do not be afraid to say what you're thinking. Also, allow people to finish their thoughts. The amount of times there's been like some big bully in there. Someone's like, oh, maybe this. They'll come in like, no, it's this way. It's this way, you're wrong. We're gonna do it this way. Allow everyone to finish their thoughts. You can be confident that your idea is right and they're wrong, but allow them to at least finish following that train of thought. You work on yours, they work on theirs. Because so many times someone has come in, no, you're wrong, we're gonna do it this way. And that person was actually right, and you just cost yourself 8 minutes, and even seconds are so precious in getting out of these things. Because they could have been working on it, but you didn't even let them because you came in like a bully. No, I'm right. And the other part of this point, don't overcomplicate things. So many times, people make things so much tougher than they are. Well, the clue will literally say, hey, it's simple math, addition, subtraction. And people, grown adults, children don't have this problem. Children just, boom, they go. Like, I don't know. Also, kids are really good at these. So usually the kids in the groups, listen to your child. Please listen to your child. They're almost always right. People will overcomplicate. They'll look at what is supposed to be simple addition and subtraction, and they'll start looking at it, trying to do long division, multiplication, bringing the square root in. They will try and bring geometry and algebra in, and some of the harder rooms do have higher math in them, but we're not gonna trick you. You're gonna know exactly the formula you need to use. Don't think we're trying to pull a fast one on you, or, oh, maybe that puzzle way over there connects to this equation and we have to pull that number. No, we're not. You are overcomplicating it, and you are making it harder than it needs to be. Obviously, yes, you need to think and be creative, but within the bounds of what we've given you, you don't need to make life so much harder than it needs to be. Read the clue very carefully. All the information you need is there. Okay, the fourth thing you should know before doing an escape room is do some research on the escape room that you're going to beforehand, on what rooms they have and what their difficulty levels are. Sometimes they don't have that listed on the website, so I highly recommend calling them and asking, because I know ours does, so I would venture to say all escape rooms have different varying difficulties in their rooms. so please call in advance. For instance, our escape room has 4, soon to be 5, we're about to open our 5th, but 4 different escape rooms. As of right now, 2 of those are what we would call our more beginner-friendly rooms. We do not like to use the word easy because none of our rooms have more than a 50% escape rate. Like, less than half of people escape every single one of our rooms, so we don't like to use the word easy. However, 2 of them have higher escape rates, being our beginner-friendly rooms have a 40 and 44% escape rate, whereas our second most difficult room has a 20% escape rate, and our most difficult room has a 9% escape rate. So as you can see, there's quite a difficulty curve in there. So if you're brand new to escape rooms, you may want to learn a little bit about that. Like, for instance, our most difficult room with only a 9% escape rate is such a cool theme. It's like a steampunk age submarine. You're in this steampunk submarine at the bottom of the ocean, and the power has cut out. You are on reserve power, you're running out of air, and you need to get the submarine back to the surface before the hour runs out. Now, it's a really cool theme. The whole room is awesome. It's all steampunk. There's gadgets and lights and things everywhere. It's honestly the coolest themed room we have. However, it only has a 9% escape rate. It is a very difficult room. If you are brand new to escape rooms and you just go solely without any information going, oh my gosh, that is a sick theme, I want to do that room. It is indeed a sick theme, but it's a 9% escape rate. It might say that on the website, or you might have to call us if it's not listed. You may want to ask, hey, I'm new to escape rooms. What would you recommend for a beginner? Because you'll still have fun if you come and do the difficult room, but I highly doubt you're gonna get out or even very far along in it. You will have much more fun if you do a more beginner-friendly room and you're able to get 3/4 of the way through, if not out, on your first try. So do a little bit of research and make sure you're picking the right room for you. And going along with room difficulty, some escape rooms, like ours for instance, have 2 different modes of play. You can play in what is called our competitive mode or our casual mode. Now, please do not get caught up in the terminology. So many people don't like hearing the word casual mode. It's like, oh, I'm not a filthy casual. Like, casual and competitive have nothing to do with your intellect and ability to get out. They are more like, what do you want your experience for that evening to be? Because when we say competitive, if you're there for just a fun night out with friends, competitive might not gel with the type of evening you're trying to have. For example, competitive mode at our facility means you are trying to get out as quickly as possible, and the whole hour you only get 3 clues. Now, mind you, each room has about 20 to 30 puzzles. That's a lot of puzzles and very few clues. And you're gonna feel stressed out and try and strategize when you can use those clues and how many you have left over. It will affect how fun the experience is for you, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So you've got those limited clues and you're trying to get out as fast as possible. And the only thing you really get out of competitive mode is we have a leaderboard at the front of the 3 fastest times to escape in each room. And if you are confident you can beat one of those times, then you're going in there with the sole intention of going as fast as possible so you can kick one of those people off the leaderboard and you can take their place. That's all you get. Casual mode, the only difference here, it's not that it's, big baby's boo-boo band-aid. It's the same exact puzzles, the same difficulty. You have to use the same brains to get out. You're just not competing for a spot on the leaderboard, and you also have the ability to ask for as many clues as you like. You don't have to ask for clues if you can handle it on your own. You don't have to go on easy mode. It just takes away the stress of wheeling and dealing and, oh gosh, we've got this much time left and we have this many clues. Can we afford to use a clue on this puzzle? If you're looking for a casual evening of entertainment, you're gonna have more fun on casual mode. I guess the best way I can sort of word it is, it's like, do you have 100% confidence that you can get out of the room? Because if you can't even get out of the room, you've essentially wasted the point of even playing on competitive mode. You should only do competitive mode if you know you can get out of that room within an hour, because let's say someone got out of the room with a 20% escape rate, the person on the board that you have to beat got out in 42 minutes. It's a 20% escape rate. Can you even get out of the room with a 20% escape rate within an hour, let alone beat their time? If you do not think you can get out of the 20% escape rate room, maybe don't make it harder on yourself going competitive mode, because you will at least have a chance to get a lot farther if you can't get out on casual, and you're gonna fight less, you're gonna be less stressed out, and you're gonna have a lot more fun. Now mind you, if you've done a lot of escape rooms, you like escape rooms, you're really good at those puzzles, and you have a team of equally prepared people who are all on the same page, then oh yeah, go for competitive mode. But let me just tell you, the people who occupy our leaderboard are teams of engineers, computer programmers, and surprisingly, preschool teachers. But linking back to children and being good at escape rooms, preschool teachers are able to think intuitively like children. So teams of generally about 6 people, the ideal team size, engineers, computer programmers, and teachers are the ones who have those slots. So those are the people you're competing to kick off the board. So just keep that in mind. Also, I've seen a lot of people like choose to do competitive mode just because they feel like it's shameful to do casual mode. Like, dude, if you're new at this, please do casual. When you start a brand new video game, do you have to play the tutorial? Do you have to, get eased into it, learn how to do it? Or do you jump right into legendary mode and just see how it goes? I mean, and obviously you can bump up to a beginner level difficulty by asking for tons of clues, because we can help you a lot if you want it, and there's nothing wrong with that, because these rooms are hard. We do not have a single room with higher than halfway escape rate. However, you can go in casual mode and ask for still just 3 clues, but not be stressed out over the time and the ability to ask for clues. So just keep in mind what type of experience you're looking to have. Do you want a competitive experience where your goal is not to just have a fun evening, but your goal is to beat the time on the leaderboard? Or are you here to just enjoy an outing with your friends? Casual's probably going to be a better time. We also have more fun with you as guides when you're in casual mode, because when y'all are in competitive mode, you don't like to talk to us. You like to just work. And we also have to bite our tongue, and we can't freely give enough, we can't talk to you guys too much because we might risk letting some free information slip, and it would make it unfair. So, it's more fun for everybody if you're on casual mode, unless you're literally there with your team ready to tear down that time and get yours up there. So, not something I recommend for beginners. At least in my time working in this field, I've never had a first-time group on competitive mode make it onto the leaderboard. Most don't even get out. Alright, thing number 6 that would be good to know before doing an escape room. How you treat your game host can shape your experience and your odds of getting out. You see, we hosts are granted a certain level of freedom in how nice and helpful we're allowed to be with you guys. So if you are mean and nasty to us, we might just bite our tongue a little bit when you're struggling with something that we otherwise could have given you a helpful hint at. Whereas if you're super nice to us, not only will we be more playful over the microphones into the room, but we're going to be able to actually give you a little bump in the right direction and raise your odds of getting out. For example, let's say we have a group that's really been rude to me the entire time and a group that's been really great. They both are 3 minutes on the clock left. They've finished all the puzzles. All they need to do is get the final lock off the door to get out. Oh, it's actually a special multi-step block that people don't tend to think about. They just want to turn the key and think it's done. If the group has been rude to me and they're working on the lock, you gotta get the lock off the door. Once you get the lock off the door, you're free to go. Versus the nice group, other than the key, you might want to keep an eye out for a second hidden mechanism that needs to be triggered to open that lock. And lo and behold, that little extra clue allows them to investigate the other side of the lock, find the thing they need to trigger, and boom, they're out. And that made the difference between escaping and not escaping. we have the ability to do this stuff. So remember, make nice with your guide and they will be good to you. Okay, and the final thing that I can think of, number 7, before going to an escape room, you did sign a waiver to go in. Please remember to follow all the rules. They are there for a reason. They are to keep you safe. They are to keep the experience fair. And if we have openly told you not to do something, we are not tricking you. For example, if we have cords and wires that are labeled not part of the mystery, that means they are not part of the mystery. Don't yank on electrical cords. If we tell you this thing is fragile, don't yank on it to open it. There will be a way to find a key and make it open nicely. Don't jump up and freaking tear on the furniture that we told you is fragile. And for a very specific example, in one of our rooms, we have a chessboard that we literally, when we take you in there, we tell you, by the way, please do not touch any of the chess pieces. Their locations will be related to a puzzle later on. If you move the pieces, you cannot solve the puzzle. I don't know why it is that some people are so programmed to think that we're trying to trick you and lie to you, but when we blatantly tell you, by the way, don't change this or you cannot solve the puzzle, we're telling you that for a reason. There have been actual groups where I go back to my station, which, by the way, we have the entire place bugged. There's microphones and cameras everywhere. I'm sitting in the back like Hacker Man with all my screens. Even when you think you're being sneaky and you're whispering, I can hear you. I can hear and see everything. So if I've told you, don't mess with that, that's part of a puzzle later, you won't be able to solve it, I can overhear groups going like, they said not to move the puzzle pieces, or they said not to move the chess pieces. I bet that's a misdirect. I bet we need to move the pieces. And it's like, you're gonna get halfway through the room, you're finally gonna realize what that's for, and you're not gonna remember the position they were in, and that's gonna be the only way you can have gotten out, and you did it to yourself. Congrats, you're not escaping. I usually try to catch people when I see them, ooh. Excuse me, do you remember when I told you about those chess pieces? I was serious. I'm not trying to trick you. You need to leave them be. And if they touch them after a second warning at that point, then that's their own fault. They're not getting out. Anyway, that's about all I have on the subject for today. I really hope it was helpful to you guys and you enjoyed it. If you want to hear more stuff related to my job at the escape room and other escape room related things, feel free to let me know. But I gotta go for now. Until next time, I will see you guys later, and as always, stay creepy.